Hello everyone, it's Dylan from Yu-Gi-Oh! Everything, and welcome back to another Yu-Gi-Oh! Video. So we have just gotten a brand new illusion archetype that I want to go over with you guys today called Hecatoncheire. No, I'm just kidding. It's Heck-Ah-TONK-Er-EE. That is the pronunciation, I believe, Hecatoncheire. I made sure to get that one right before recording because I did not want to annoy people, but hey, maybe I got it wrong. Brand new illusion archetype. I believe it's the second pure illusion archetype that we are getting in this game. The first one, of course, is Azamina. When the illusion archetype came out in 2023 to the OCG TCG, we had a lot of people talking about how it may be proof that Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Monsters was getting a reboot, and Yugi was going to use the illusion archetype, or Yami Yugi was, and I always found that to be very funny. Well, we have an archetype here that reminds me a lot of the very first illusion user in the manga, which is Pegasus. For those of you that didn't know, illusion was an archetype in the Yu-Gi-Oh! Manga, and I feel like this archetype is a tribute to the effect of Relinquish. This archetype is quite literally not your deck, our deck. I feel like if they were going to do a DM reboot, this is the deck that Maximilian Pegasus would play to counter Yami Yugi playing the original wave of illusion monsters, which I think is hilarious. This deck just screams Pegasus to me, but by the way, the Lovecraftian horror elements, these monsters are designed beautifully, so let's just jump right in. We have 7 monsters, a quick play spell, and 2 counter traps. All 7 monsters have this line of text. If this card battles a monster, neither can be destroyed by that battle. So just keep that in mind. The first card, Heck-Ah-TONK-Er-EE. You can only use the first and third effect once per turn. You can reveal this card in your hand, shuffle it into the deck, then special summon one Hecatoncheire monster from your deck in defense, except this one. If this card is sent to the graveyard, you can target one monster in your graveyard, except this one, special summon it. So, important to note, a lot of these monsters have reveal card and hand effects. So they have hand effects and they have graveyard effects. And of course, the battle protection as well, which is pretty crazy. Moving on to another one, Hecatoncheire-EE. You can reveal this card in your hand, shuffle it into the deck, then add one Hecatoncheire spell or trap from your deck to your hand. If this card is sent to graveyard, you can target one Hecatoncheire spell and trap in your grave, set it. So that's a good one for spell and trap search. Then we have Hecatoncheire Goddess. If a card is added to your opponent's hand except during the draw phase, you can special summon this card from your hand. During your opponent's main phase, you can target one monster in your opponent's graveyard, special summon it to your field, but banish it when it leaves the field. So we got our first instance here of stealing an opponent's monster. This one steals it out of your opponent's grave, and that trend is just going to continue with a lot of these cards. The next one of my favorites, Hecatoncheire Gigas. I just love the way that this thing looks, man. I think this is one of the coolest designed newer archetypes we've had in Yu-Gi-Oh! In a very long time. If a card is added to your opponent's hand except during the draw phase, you can special summon this card from your hand. During your main phase, you can excavate the top 3 cards of your opponent's deck. You can special summon one excavated monster, also shuffle the rest back into the deck. So you can literally just yoink any monster from your opponent's deck that's at least on top of their deck and just summon it to your field, which is kind of crazy. And then the final effect monster is Hecatoncheire Brias. If a card is added to your opponent's hand outside of the draw phase, you can special summon this card from your hand. So 3 of these Hecatoncheire main deck effect monsters have that effect. If your opponent adds a card to their hand, not in the draw phase, which is very, very common in today's Yu-Gi-Oh! It's almost a guarantee that that'll happen. You can special summon this card from your hand and get this monster onto the field. During your main phase, you can look at one random card in your opponent's hand, and if it's a monster, you can special summon it to your field. I also love that this kind of requires you to channel your inner Pegasus, right? What card does your opponent have in their hand that's actually a monster? I don't know. This whole deck just screams Pegasus to me. We're getting 2 fusion monsters. The first is Hecatoncheire Jawza. The materials, 1 Hecatoncheire monster and 1 illusion monster, must first be fusion summoned or special summoned by tributing 1 illusion monster and 1 face-up monster you control owned by your opponent. You can only use the first effect once per turn. During your main phase, you can add one Hecatoncheire card from your deck or graveyard to your hand, and then that same effect. If this card battles a monster, neither can be destroyed by that battle. So this is a monster that you actually need to have a monster that is owned by your opponent, but that you control. So I love that restriction because it really encourages you to snatch something from your opponent's deck, whether it's from their deck or whether it's from their field or whether it's from their graveyard or hand. I just think it's absolutely hilarious. And then the next one, and this one seems like a really, really good one. Heck-Ah-TONK-Er-EE Xeno, probably my favorite or second favorite design. This thing looks just disgusting. I mean, it looks amazing. 3,500 attack, 3,500 defense. 3 Hecatoncheire monsters is the material. During the main phase, and this is a quick effect, you can look at 2 random face-down cards in your opponent's extra deck, and if you do, special summon one of them to your field. I mean, dude, this deck I feel like is going to be so fun to play, but has to be so freaking annoying to go up against if your opponent is getting these effects off. I mean, just getting your deck completely yoinked and destroyed. It reminds me a little bit of like Comic Hand, right? If you have Toon Kingdom, Comic Hand just snatches one of your opponent's monsters. I think it's like so comical, but also like really, really, really awesome that there is still an element of randomness. So you're not just like picking the best monsters in your opponent's hand or extra deck in this case. I think it's really, really an interesting concept. And I feel like this is a good, like opponent card stealing deck, which we haven't really seen before, at least a good one in my opinion. This one feels like it could be really good. And then if this fusion summoned card and its owner's control is destroyed by an opponent's card effect, you can take control of any number of monsters they control. So you can't destroy this by battle. You better banish this, send it back to the extra deck, because if you just simply destroy this, your opponent can literally take control of every, this doesn't target, every monster that you own. That is absolutely insane. So I feel like Xeno is going to be a really, really tough card for people to just get rid of. You have to deal with it very specifically. Yeah, and that rounds out the monsters. Just crazy stuff. We have a quick play spell, Hecatoncheire Tartarus. Activate one of these effects, but you can only choose each effect of this card's name once per turn. If you control a Hecatoncheire monster, target one spell trap your opponent controls, return it to the hand, or fusion summon one Hecatoncheire monster from your extra deck by banishing its materials from your field and or grave. If you use face-up monsters you control owned by your opponent, you can treat them as Hecatoncheire monsters. We talked about how Xeno needs 3 Hecatoncheire monsters in order to be fusion summoned. Well, if you have 2 Hecatoncheire monsters and a monster that you snatched from your opponent, that will count if you use this quick play spell. And remember, you can do this on your opponent's turn as well because it's a quick play spell. Really, really cool fusion there. And then we're getting 2 traps. Ipt Al Hecatoncheire. When your opponent activates a monster effect and you control a Hecatoncheire monster, negate the activation, and if you do, destroy that monster. Then you can special summon it to your field. So it's not only insulting enough that you are negating your opponent's monster summon, but then you are summoning it to your field almost just to like taunt your opponent. And then the other one is Yad Al Hecatoncheire. When your opponent activates a spell trap and you control a Hecatoncheire monster, negate the activation, and if you do, destroy that card, then you can set it to your field. So even the trap cards in this archetype yoink either your opponent's monster or your opponent's spell trap. I don't know, man. This to me seems like a really, really, really fun archetype. I am very excited to play with this deck. I love the design. Again, it's very Lovecraftian, in my opinion. These monsters are absolutely insane. I mean, even I didn't talk about Jawza, dude. Jawza looks insane. And you know what? I'm not the biggest proponent of a DM reboot, but if you do it, or, you know, whatever you do, make sure Pegasus uses these cards, because these cards just scream Pegasus. And with the power of the Millennium Eye to read his opponent's hand, to read his opponent's extra deck, my God, man, he'd be unstoppable with a deck like this. But I love that this kind of pays a little bit of tribute to Relinquished, one of the first illusion monsters in the manga way back in 1997, where Relinquished, of course, stole your opponent's monster and absorbed it. And I think that this is kind of a play on that, and I absolutely love that. But I would love to know what you guys think. This is a deck coming out in the Deck Build Pack Phantom Revengers, which is going to be released in late August over in Japan. I'd love to know your thoughts on the second pure illusion archetype ever in the Yu-Gi-Oh card game. And I think this one has the potential to be probably the best card stealing archetype in the entire Yu-Gi-Oh card game. But please let me know all your thoughts. As always, thank you so much for watching. I'll talk to you in the comments, and I hope you have an amazing day. Take care, guys.